Welcome to the Pickleballers podcast delivered by DoorDash. We have an amazing episode here today with Andrei Daescu. Some people call him the most dominant player in the world.
Grew up in Bucharest, Romania. Started playing tennis when I was about 6 years old. And by the time I was 8, I kind of started getting pretty serious about it. By the time I was 10, I was already competing nationally. I didn't really stop tennis because I wanted to stop tennis. It's because of the injury, and I feel like it got taken away from me. It's hard to make sense of it. That's why when I discovered pickleball, I thought it was pretty cool that I get a second shot at competing, and that's kind of why I try to make the most of it right now.
So you've been playing for 8 years, and you think you're still improving?
Well, you have to. If you're staying the same, you're going down.
Your goal is to be the best in the world.
That's always the goal, and as long as my body can take it, I'll try to do it. I think I'm pretty close to the top right now, and I have days when I feel like I am the best player in the world, and I have days when, like everybody else, I feel like I'm not the best pickleball player out there, and I think we all have to go through that.
What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember Andrei Daescu? Is it the pro? Is it the teacher? What's important to you?
Welcome back to Pickleballers. We have an amazing episode here today with Andrei Daescu. Some people call him the most dominant player in the world with over 20 medals on the PPA Tour. Andrei, thanks for being here today, my man.
Thanks for the invite. Happy to be here with you guys.
Thanks for being here, Andrei.
There you go.
Fired up.
Social media royalty here.
Yeah, exactly. How you feeling? How's life right now in the pickleball world?
Life is good. It's definitely going about 100 miles per hour.
Yeah.
We just got back from Virginia Beach. Most of us did. Decent weekend over there. A little challenging with the weather and all that, but it's playing pretty good pickleball. Traveling a lot. I'm home for the week and then off to Vegas and Dallas back to back. That's going to be a pretty big stretch. We got the MLP Cup in there as well, so we'll be away for a while. Try to make the most out of practice this week and then hit the road. Yeah.
Have you come down off the MLP glow?
Have I come off the MLP glow? I like how they structured the seasons next year, so you can actually really enjoy it. Because I was super happy we won the MLP, and then literally 1.5 days later, I was already into tournament mode in Vegas.
So wild.
So I didn't get to enjoy it too much. But it's still a fun experience. Obviously, being able to make that kind of run and winning for Columbus, it was very cool.
I actually remember seeing him in Vegas and being like, because I thought maybe you wouldn't show up, right? Same with Paris, same with Leia.
Hungover?
You win MLP, and then
I was so
sometimes
exhausted.
you want to celebrate it. Sometimes you want to say, hey, maybe I take this next tournament off. I just did something amazing. Let it sink in a little more. But this guy was right back on the road.
Incredible run.
Yeah, it was a great run, and like I said, I got so exhausted after those matches. I mean, it was back-to-back weekends in a row as well.
Yeah.
I think Annalise said at some point it was 6 or 7 weekends for all of us in a row, and I got so exhausted I couldn't even go out and drink afterwards. I went to dinner and then these guys went out to party and I was just dead. Yeah.
We want to dive into your background, but I have one other question about that. So when you come in to MLP in the finals and the semis, I'd say the underdog, right? I mean, I think most people were
based on
not
the ranking. We were on the underdog. Yeah.
Is that not only physically exhausting, but is it also mentally, and having to get up for every single match and then going into Vegas? Are you just wiped?
It's not physically exhausting to be the underdog. It's physically exhausting to be playing against those good players and the competition.
But is it mentally?
Mentally, I think it gives you a little bit more, motivation. I think it gives you a reason to prove people wrong. I think it gives you, the chance to kind of go out there and show that, regular season is one thing and the playoffs is a different thing. So it definitely takes a toll on you. Look, the games are 2-11. The margins are very small in MLP. You can't really have any, 5-10 minute windows where you're off. In the PPA, you lose a game, you can lose 11-0, you come back, you win the next 2 games, and you're still in the tournament, nobody talks about it. And in MLP, you're down 4-5-0, you kind of tell us you lost that one. So definitely takes a much bigger mental toll on you. Having it being weekend to weekend and not a lot of break in between was definitely tough on the body as well. And showing up in Vegas, I was definitely feeling it.
Yeah.
But Vegas luckily was progressive, I think, and actually it wasn't. But I think I had 1 or 2 days in between there. I remember where I got to Vegas and I was like, I'm just not gonna go hit today. I'm just gonna go stretch out, hit the gym a little bit, and just kind of sleep in and let the body recover because I was dead.
Yeah, well, you're not playing singles in Vegas too, so you get an extra day. But,
yeah, that helps a lot.
But yeah, man. So let's dive in a little bit to your background. We always ask people how they got here. Obviously, that's a big question. But take us back to Romania. Take us back to what it was like growing up, and your journey to finding tennis and finding pickleball.
So I grew up in Bucharest, Romania. Started playing tennis when I was about 6 years old. My dad was a basketball player, and he used to go during the weekends and kind of go out with his friends and play some tennis for fun. And I used to go with him and kind of just sit on the bench and watch him play the whole time. And They were good basketball players, but they kind of sucked at tennis. So I was getting bored, and one day I'm like, you guys got to let me play with you guys. And they were like, nah, just sit on the bench. And then I was lucky enough, there was somebody teaching a lesson on the court next to them. And my dad was like, why don't you go take a lesson and kind of be quiet about it, And I went over there, and I really enjoyed it. It was kind of just love at the first sight with a tennis ball, the racket, just the whole sport in general. And the lady kind of saw some talent in me as well. So she told my dad, hey, if he's looking to get a little more intense about it, we can sign him up for whatever the program was over there and have a few more sessions a week and all that kind of stuff. And
how old were you?
6.
6.
Yeah. And I started like everybody else doing the 2 or 3 times a week, hit and giggle type of tennis. And then by the time I was 8, I kind of started getting pretty serious about it. And I was competing. By the time I was 10, I was already competing nationally.
Is that a big thing in Romania to like take on a sport while you're younger and take it on pretty seriously?
Not quite. But I was fortunate enough to have my dad as an athlete, and he knew to do the research into it, and he figured out tennis is not like basketball or baseball or football that you can kind of pick up when you're 14 and be very good at it. It's very technical. It's kind of like golf. So he knew right away that he actually told me, he said, look, I'm not going to push you. It's a sport that you pick, but if you're going to pick tennis, you're going to have to start very early, and you have to dedicate a lot of time, because it's not like some of the other sports, like soccer or something else that you can pick up later on and get away with it. So, but I was just enjoying it so much. I was enjoying basketball as well. I used to travel with him and go to some of his matches and go to these practices and shoot around.
Was he a pro player?
Yeah, just in Romania. I played in the first division in Romania, and I've always enjoyed that atmosphere. And even, I discussed it with him about 2 months ago when he was here with me and we're having dinner. I was like, I still have no idea how I moved away from basketball into tennis, but it kind of shifted that way, and then it just snowballed from there, and that was it. Yeah, I haven't really played basketball again until I was in college, and I was just kind of having some fun with some of my teammates. Yeah. And then in terms of the tennis career, like I said, by the time I was 10, I started getting pretty serious. By the time I was 12, I was already traveling a little bit around Europe, spending my summers in Germany with my mom's side of the family. It was good to be there in the summers. They have the leagues. They have a bunch of tournaments. There's just a lot more players over there. Some good academies. That the academy format was kind of starting to catch some momentum in Europe. And it was just a lot of players there. So I'll be there during my summer break, and then I went to regular school. I didn't do online, which in hindsight I think was a mistake.
Regular high school?
Yeah. But was in class from like 8 a.m. until 2:30, 3 p.m., which is obviously education is important, school is important, but a lot of that time was wasted. You can be a lot more efficient and kind of compress that from 7 hours to probably 4 or 5 and be on the road and dedicate more time to sports. But that's how it worked out for me. Then straight out of high school, graduated. I was playing some low pro tournaments, futures, just because you played as well. Did okay over there. I think I had like 4 points or something like that, just a couple of points, and started getting recruited by the U.S. schools and ended up in Oklahoma. So, that was quite a change of scenery first. Like I said, I'm from Bucharest. It's a 3 million people town. It's a big city. There's always something going on over there. Oklahoma was just a different change of pace. People are super nice over there, but it's more quiet. It's more on the quiet side, and the school was amazing. I mean,
You're a Sooner, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Boomer Sooner all day long. Yeah, I just couldn't believe how nice the facilities were. I mean, just all the training facilities, everything that we had on there, the access to the coaches that we had, the conditioning coaches, the physios. My head coach was John Roddick, Andy Roddick's brother. I mean, it was just, it felt like a very professional environment, so very happy with that decision.
Had you been to the U.S. before that?
I was not. No, like I said, I thought summers in Europe, and I think more and more people are learning about it in the world of tennis, are very good. There's just so much going on over there in terms of tournaments, leagues, low-level prize money tournaments. So when you were kind of just getting formed as a player and you go from that junior level player to a pro level player, I think it's the place to be in Europe. So yeah, 100%.
What was Bucharest like? I haven't been.
So it went through a lot of changes. I was born in '88, so I don't have any memories from communism, but it was '89 when they got rid of the communists, and obviously through the '90s it was just a lot of changes going from that system to capitalism, and inflation was going through the roof, and it was a little bit of the Wild West there for about 10 years. But it kept changing for the better rapidly, faster and faster, and I mean it's just beautiful right now. Every chance I get to go home, I do get to go home, and it's a very nice city. Like I said, there's always something going on. Sports are huge. It's very nicely located, about 2 hours from the seaside. We have the Black Sea over there, 2 hours from the mountains. So yeah, I don't get much of a chance to go home because of the busy pickleball schedule, but when I do, I really enjoy it.
Were you planning on going back there after college, or were you?
I did go back there after college. I was fortunate enough to start making the Davis Cup team for Romania. So I was training mostly out of Germany, but I was very close to Romania. I was like a 2-hour flight away from Romania, and yeah, I spent a bunch of my time in Europe after college, and then moved back to the States in 2015 when I had a shoulder issue, and that was kind of the end of my tennis career. And always enjoyed Florida. Didn't really spend a ton of time, but I used to spend some of my tennis preseasons here. Always enjoyed it, and yeah, just took the chance and moved here. And
so you had your injury in college or post?
No, that was about 5 years after college. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so
and what was college tennis like? How'd you do?
College tennis was a different experience. As a tennis player, and Roscoe can attest to this because he knows that. I mean, even as a junior or as a pro, most of the time you're on your own. You're competing for yourself. Even if you're playing doubles and all that, you still. The ranking reflects your ranking, so it's a lot about you, and then you go into that team format over there, and you got to cheer on the teammate next to your court. And
does it feel like MLP college tennis?
Does it feel like MLP in a way?
It's I think bigger, and
there's some similarities.
You have a bigger team.
Yeah. How many players on the college?
6 guys playing, so it's 6 singles and 3 doubles.
But you have like sometimes. I mean, we had 14 guys on our team at one point.
Yeah, I mean, the rosters could be as big as you like.
But they're not all getting to play,
no,
or are
just
they?
6 get to play that day.
Okay.
That's it.
So a little bit, especially if you're playing like 5 or 6 in that lineup, you're fighting for some spots. I assume you were probably pretty high up.
I played 3 my freshman year, and then I played 1 my sophomore, junior, and senior year.
Yeah,
And
so
is it just singles or doubles as well?
Singles and doubles, yeah.
Wow.
So you're not fighting with anybody up there. I mean, maybe you're fighting to keep the number 1 spot.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're always fighting for something.
Yeah.
Ranking, number 1 spot, all those things,
And sorry, I have another college tennis question. Are you when you're playing and you start out, do you become like kind of pigeonholed into singles or doubles? Like at what point is it the players who can't make it in singles end up playing pro doubles?
No. So because of the order of play, you start with 3 doubles matches. Once those are completed, you take a little break, and then you go into singles.
But
So you can
as
play
a
both.
pro though, are people coming out and they're saying, all right, I'm going to be strictly a singles player?
Not really. It's the same thing as a pro. When I graduated, I was playing both at the same time, and just my doubles ranking seemed to be taking off, and I was doing a lot better. And there's different tiers in the pro game, and once you go from futures to challengers, my ranking was good enough to get me into challengers for doubles, but not for singles. So then it's just more prize money, better playing opportunities. So you kind of just shifted based on that. I think, especially when you're young, you shouldn't really specialize in one or the other. I think a lot of those guys, especially big-time pros, they move into doubles later on to their careers just because they can move as well and cover the singles court. But you don't really. I mean, you're training for both with the whole team, and once in a while you have some people that play maybe only singles, or once in a while you have some people that play mainly doubles. But for the most part, it's kind of the same people playing both singles and doubles.
And so what was that transition like from college tennis to pro tennis? Was there ever a time where you were thinking, maybe I don't play pro tennis, I just go and work? Or was it always pro tennis is the first thing I'm going to try out of college?
No, it was always pro tennis the first thing I'm going to try because I knew I can always go back to work. I graduated, obviously, I got my diplomas and all that, so I knew I'll have the rest of my life to work. So I figured, why not give it a chance on the pro tour? It's not just about tennis, but when you travel around the world and you play, especially futures, you get a good life education as well.
Seriously.
Yeah, you go to some of those funky places.
I didn't even really travel to all those funky places, but just the stories I've heard, and even on this podcast, we've heard some stories about Paris and traveling to Egypt.
Yates and Hunter's stories.
Yeah.
I mean,
what might you be doing if you didn't play pro tennis and now pro pickleball?
I love sports, so I would definitely be playing some kind of sport, I would say, or probably later on coach it. I really like sports. It's a hard question to answer. I haven't really thought much outside of the sports, but I definitely did something sports related. I really enjoy it. Yeah, so I follow a lot of the other sports as well. I mean, I stay on top of NFL, NBA, all the stuff that you can watch over here. Still some soccer overseas, and I still follow the tennis tour very closely. Yeah. So I really enjoy sports.
Yeah, when we were on the Columbus Sliders together, they took us to, what was that team called? Crew? A Columbus Crew game?
Oh yeah, the soccer game. Yeah.
Is that was nice MLS?
MLS, they have a good team. Yeah, they were ranked 3rd, I think, when we went,
Yeah, this guy was the only one who was like really involved in the game. And we all left probably an hour and 15 minutes in. I don't know how long the games are.
You were over it?
Yeah, we had the experience.
He came for the food,
I came for the food.
Took the sideline pictures.
That checks out.
Classic. Yeah.
And then this guy was
classic
like,
front row seater.
This guy was like,
I'm not leaving.
I'm not. Yeah, he's like, I'm staying until the end.
Did they win?
Yeah, they won. I think they won. We saw a lot of goals as well. I think it was like 3-1 when we left. And
You know what, Jared? The other day I got to pickleball practice and I realized I left my balls at home. So I downloaded the DoorDash app and I got them delivered to my court. You know what's crazy is the other day I was starving, but I wanted to play that one more game. I had my DoorDash moment, played the game, on the way home, order the food, Chinese food, waiting for me, DoorDash. Download it today for all of your pickleball needs.
What was it like going from college to pro tennis, and take me through what that journey was and how long you played?
yeah, so I graduated in 2010, like I said, and then went straight on to playing. I did play the summers before as well to build up my ranking a little bit. Started with some futures like everybody else. Traveled all around to play those futures and build up my ranking. Quite interesting traveling and all that. And yeah, I think it was late 2011, about a year into it, when I was able to make the jump to the challengers, and then it got a lot better in terms of travel, playing conditions. You have, a car picking you up from the airport, taking to the hotel. You have transportation from the hotel. Like, you're not really.
And they pay for your hotel as well, right?
Hotel is included, yeah. So you're starting to feel like a pro athlete there. And I was really enjoying it. Obviously, the travel is the worst thing about it because you're on the road a lot, and tennis is so global. So you really just usually travel from continent to continent. It's hard to kind of keep them together once you get to the challenger level. But I was enjoying it. It was a good lifestyle. I was getting to compete. I love tennis as well. So I had a really good time over there. And then slowly built on my ranking. Had some fun experiences in tennis. Like I said, playing Davis Cup for Romania. I played in the 2015 US Open, which I think was pretty cool.
How'd you do?
Travel, first round, but thanks for asking. Yes.
Hey,
No,
at
these
least
guys are pretty
there.
good. These guys are pretty good. Yeah, played at a
Still
big
pretty sick.
guy from Belarus. You probably know Max Murny. He was number one.
Yeah,
in
yeah, I
doubles
know
that
Max
time.
Murny.
Yeah, thought I was pretty good at tennis, and then realized it's a different game. And then, like I said, ended up with. I've been struggling with my shoulder ever since college. We thought it was tendonitis. It ended up being a tear. I was kind of playing with a tear and some strong painkillers. It got to the point where it was really bad. Even during the night, I couldn't sleep. I would wake up in a lot of pain. Then got an actual MRI and all that, and it was pretty rough in there.
What was torn?
Subscapular. So yeah, the muscle in the back. It's a very small muscle as well, but by the time I got in, the cartilage was kind of all chewed up. It was pretty rough in there.
So that's got to be from just snapping your arm.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. The nice thing about pickleball, first of all, the paddle is lighter, easier to move through the air, and the second thing is, besides overheads, you don't really hit anything up there. So even when I was playing tennis and I had a underhand, so forehands, backhands, volleys was fine. But man, on the serve, it was rough. Yeah.
Do you feel it at all when you play pickleball? Like, does it sometimes?
No, because it's about flaring up. And again, even though I might hit 5-10 overheads a match in pickleball, it's a lighter ball. Like, it's just different. I'll have to take 50 overheads, and then I will feel it for a couple of days, and then it gets bad in terms of inflammation. But you just don't do that.
I have arthritis in my shoulder, and so if I play at night, it's like sometimes I wake up and it's just super uncomfortable. Can't sleep on it. Shoulder stuff.
So that's kind of the stuff I was dealing with. But
I'm old.
Yeah.
And so as you were playing pro tennis, how was that journey in terms of ranking, trying to work your way up to play those bigger and bigger tournaments? When did you know, hey, I've made it, or hey, I should probably move on?
Unfortunately, I'd never really made it in tennis. As you know, it's a really narrow bottleneck. I think to make it in tennis, you got to be at the top 8 in singles, the top 40 in doubles. And my ranking was in the 600s in singles and 120 in doubles. I was pretty close in doubles, but
that's still, I mean,
not quite there.
120 doubles sounds
still good
quite
enough,
high.
but
it's
not
insane.
And 600 singles is not like.
No, it's not bad, but it's
not
one of
making
those things
money.
where, exactly. I didn't make it. I didn't make it. It was close, but I didn't really make it. But once you start, it took me about a year to kind of clear the futures for doubles. And then once you start playing challengers, that's when your ranking gets into the low 250s, inside the top 200. Then you start to feel like an actual player and be like, hey, if I do this long enough and I take care of my body, I have a chance at it.
Yeah.
And then you're really starting to feel like you're playing. Playing futures is not really.
No,
there was a saying when I was playing futures, like there's no future in futures, and it couldn't be more true than that. I mean, if you don't clear the futures in like a year and a half to 2 years, then unless you really love the sport, it's kind of painful to go through that experience.
Let me ask you guys, both of y'all. So when did you start playing tennis? Like 6?
3.
3.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 and 6. When you finally realize, and I think pickleball is kind of that great second opportunity, but when you finally realize, okay, my tennis career is done, is there are you happy? Are you relieved? Are you devastated? What goes through your head when you finally realize that?
Yeah, I was devastated. I didn't really stop tennis because I wanted to stop tennis. It's because of the injury, and I feel like it got taken away from me. And yeah, it was rough there. I mean, you're used to a certain lifestyle in terms of competing. You're used to certain preparation, taking care of your body. And it's obviously nice not to wake up and be sore for the first couple of months. And it's nice not to wake up and have to be in a different place every week or so. But at the same time, it gets kind of boring and a little bit of the same. And yeah, especially when it happens with an injury, it's hard to make sense of it. And that's why when I discovered pickleball, I thought it was pretty cool that I get a second shot at competing, and yeah, that's kind of why I try to make the most of it right now.
I had tons of injuries, multiple surgeries. As you know, tennis is like your whole life, right? You put all your eggs in one basket, and so the fact that we do get a second opportunity through pickleball to take our skill set and make it useful for another sport, another career, I think is a blessing that I wake up every day and I'm just, grateful for. At the same time, I was a little luckier in the fact that I never had like a big break where I was not playing anything. My tennis career, especially after the 2 hip surgeries, like I was already on my way out and I was gonna go play more pro tournaments. And that's when my mom was like, hey, check out pickleball. And of course, for a year, I was like, no chance. But then I did it.
We've all started there, yeah.
Yeah, and it was great.
How did you discover pickleball?
So the tennis club that I was working at in South Florida, Ballinals Country Club, there were some members over there that have played, I think, on a cruise ship, and they kept coming out with this annoying tape, and they kept putting it on the tennis hardcore, So we kind of went over, picked about it, and then it kind of picked up a little momentum, and they told us to try to bring some pros. It was we're talking like late. I think it was like late 2016, early 2017. They're like, you got to bring some pros over here to do like a learn and play clinic, so the members get to see what this whole thing is about.
So this couple went on a cruise.
And I think it was probably like 4 or 5 players.
Okay.
Yeah,
and they were just
randomly.
makeshift courts, and they were we're going to play this. And people were like, what are you doing? Like,
exactly. Yeah. Everybody was like, so what is this game? And then it's like, that annoying sound. Just a classic like tennis snob when it comes to pickleball. It's like,
this
it's
is before
it's a
good
wiffle
paddles
ball.
too.
It's
2017.
So bad.
Yeah, it's like very early 2017. Yeah, so we gave in. We brought some pros. Actually, the pro that we brought in at the time was Kyle Yates.
Always Kyle Yates.
Kyle's a good buddy of mine. Yeah, he came out, did a great job actually in terms of the clinic. He brought some guys with him, and
do you remember who he brought?
I think about Steve Rose. He was a senior pro who lives around here. Yeah, and he did a good job talking about the game, explained the rules, kind of getting us into it, getting the members into it. And then at the end, they were like, hey, we showed you guys some singles. Let me show you how doubles is played as well. And they needed 2 people to kind of jump in. So I said, why not? I'll be one of them. And I still remember we didn't even have paddles. I played with like a wooden paddle. One of those things that you put like the rope around your hand, so your hand. It was that far back. And I played a little bit there, and I was like, man, this is actually interesting. And look, it takes a lot more skill than it looks like from the outside. Getting to hit that ball into the kitchen and keeping the ball low is way harder than it looked. And then I started playing a little bit with some of the other tennis pros in the area. My buddy Alex, who's now my coach as well, we played quite a bit together. And then I think it was, I went online probably 4 days after Kyle came in, and I was like, I got to see if they have any tournaments for this thing, And I found a tournament in La Belle, Florida, which is it was an RV park over there.
I don't even know where that is.
That's exactly how everybody started. It used to be an RV park, and the good old porta potties and all that stuff, And Alex and I went. And
what was the entry to play?
I forget. It was
50 cents?
Yeah. No, it was like $75, $80 because it was one of those like money tournaments,
It was a money tournament.
Yeah. And went in there and thinking like, okay, I'm going to show these guys how it's done and all that. And went and played and learned more about it. And it was
whooped?
It's fun to compete. We actually won it, but we won it in 3 games. We played 2 legends of the game in Florida here. Back then it was the Waddell family, Barry and Noah Waddell. And they gave us a good match. Game 1, I think we got killed. We started to figure out the soft game a little bit there, and then once we started to figure that stuff out, it was pretty good for us. But and I was like, man, this is a lot of fun. Like I should sign up for more tournaments. And then I found out the tours weren't established back then. So there was a big tournament in Atlanta, the Lifetime. That used to be one of the big events there. So
what level were you at this time?
I have no idea. I mean, back then,
if you had to get like a 4.5,
I think it was more than that. It was about like a 5.5, I would say back then.
So you just entered the sport. You're a 5.5.
No, I mean,
I played for 5 years.
I was already practicing.
I'm a 2.8.
I was already practicing and all that. I mean, you're talking about somebody who was like
high level
athlete, still like late 20s. I was still in good shape. Like I was twice as fast as anybody else in that tournament. We're talking about the La Belle Invitational.
You're tall,
in RV Park.
athletic.
Tall. I'm not sure tall helps a lot with pickleball. It helps at the start of the point, but then you pay the price, especially at the highest level with the dinky and all that. But yeah, and I was also playing a lot. I started practicing quite a bit, and I was playing a lot, and I was enjoying it. But it was more of a weekend hobby. That's what the money was in at that time, and then it kind of just snowballed from that. And I was playing some weekend tournaments. I was traveling to some of the bigger ones, like the Nationals back then. It was the US Open, the Atlanta one, and that's how I ran into the actual pros. The Kyle Yates of the world I was playing back then. Tyson, Ben was just coming up. Deco was getting slowly into it. Adam Stone was a legend. Like he was very, very, very good back then.
Was Simone playing at this time?
Simone obviously she was the best female. Yeah.
Who's your partner at this time?
When I started, I was playing with Alex. Yeah, Alex Pop, Moldovan. Yeah, he played with me.
Coach of the Columbus Sliders.
Coach of the Columbus Sliders now. Yeah, he's still coaching me as well. Like we played for about 2 years until his body just gave up a little bit on him, and he was in his late 30s. He's now early 40s, and he's already had a hip surgery, and the body just kind of went away. So he moved over to coaching, and then I started playing with Eden, my fellow Romanian. He's known for his big size.
What's his name? Oh, Eden
Lika. Yeah.
What happened to him?
He dealt with injuries as well. Yeah, two or three elbow surgeries. He messed up his arm really bad, and
he was such a cool player to watch.
It was definitely spectacular. Everybody,
he's do you know what he looks like?
Yeah, I played him.
Yeah, we used to play together, and everybody knew him.
Yeah.
Every time he walked in, I mean, the size helped him as well. He's the size of a linebacker or a tight end, but yeah, he's and we did pretty well there for about a year and a half as well, and then his body started to break down, and then that's kind of when I started making the shift to full time, travel week in, week out to play tournaments and do all that stuff. And then I started mixing it in with some of the guys who were doing it full time, and the tours were pretty well established. And then Major League came along and all that kind of stuff, and then it just snowballed from there. And now obviously I'm traveling about 30 weeks a year.
And how old are you? 37?
37, yeah.
37.
Yeah.
When did that shift happen from just a weekend hobby to this is my full-time career?
Well, it was supposed to happen late 2019, early 2020, and then COVID hit, and everything was put on hold. And then after COVID hit, they restarted the tours, I think, sometime in the summer. And I was kind of let's see how this thing, COVID was a curveball for everybody, how this thing kind of shapes out. I mean, it was looking good there for a while, but is it going to survive COVID? And then I think COVID actually helped.
For sure.
In terms of popularity of the game, the fans getting into it, more people knowing about pickleball. And then I realized, I was like, well, this is very serious now, a lot more serious than I thought it was going to be. And that's kind of when I, went on.
And were you making decent paydays from playing pre-COVID?
From playing?
Yeah.
It was a side gig. No, it was.
So you're teaching?
Yeah, by teaching and running I was the head professional there, and teaching and running that club was definitely my main source of income back then. It was probably prize money was probably, I don't know, a fourth of what I was making. Yeah.
Do you still teach now?
I teach some. Like I said, I'm traveling 30 weeks a year. Spend some time with the family at home. So I teach some. It's way less than I am. So I go in. I think that the community there is amazing. They're very supportive. I've always enjoyed that community. So when I'm around and I have the legs to do it, and I'll go and do it. I do a camp there every year where I invite some pros over. A lot of the pros came out and did it with me, and the members there always enjoy it. I help them with a tournament every year and stuff like that. But it's not full-time teaching anymore. No. So I teach some camps around the country as well. Probably around 10. That's where I try to keep it.
Yeah. You do one in Bristol each year, right?
I do actually 2 in Bristol. I did.
What are they called? Do you want to give a little plug?
Just Andrei Daescu pickleball camps. Yeah. So I did some in Philadelphia with good old Morgan Evans. He used to be one of the legends when I got into the game. He was a tough fellow to play. A lot of spin, he's very weighty there. He really could make you look like a fool out there on the court. He was my coach for the easy drive when I play MLP as well, and I always enjoy catching up with Morgan. Great character, a lot of fun off the court as well. So I did some camps with him in Philadelphia. I did New Jersey, Oklahoma City. I mean, all over the country. Yeah. So I enjoy teaching. I just don't really have the time for it.
Yes, but I think especially the level that pickleball is established for the top pros now. You're making you're making a living to the point where you don't have to teach.
Oh, it's definitely not for the financials. I'm not teaching for the financials. It's a way of giving back to the game and kind of giving back to the community that supported me coming up when I wasn't making the money and the sponsors that I have right now. So that's strictly kind of just giving back to the game. It's not.
When did that turn though? When was it 2022? Was it when you got signed to MLP PPA?
It was before that because the prize money was already very good. It was enough.
What was that first tournament where you were like, wow, there's actually some legit prize money? Do you remember?
I don't remember the exact tournament, but I remember when the tours came out. they got established. Like I said, it was 2019, and the tours were like, okay, the prize money was pretty good. There was like 50K tournaments, 75K tournaments. They had like a 125K tournament, you know, and then on top of that, he had some other stuff on the side, and then Major League came about. So then he can make some money out of that as well. The sponsorships are getting better. And so to answer your question, it wasn't like an actual term, but it was definitely late 2020 when I was like, okay, I'm making really good money out of this thing.
Yeah.
And it looks like the needle is moving in the right direction as well. So let's just, switch to this full time and give it a go. And then obviously the tour wars was when the money started to escalate as well over there. But I was making good money in prize money as well. So it definitely helped some, but it's not like, it wasn't, for me, it helped for sure, but it wasn't a game changer.
You were winning like every APP. I remember when I first
I was on a good run there for sure. Yeah.
Winning mixed and men's doubles, making good living.
Who were you playing with?
For most of I mixed it up in the APPs, but Rob Nunnery definitely was the one that I played the most with, and Rob is my guy. I had a lot of success with him. I enjoyed the time off the court with him as well. A great partner. With Kyle Yates, I played a bunch when I was just up and coming as well.
Susanna.
And mix, there was mix with Susanna for the most part. We did really well over there. That's kind of when I was making the run before the whole thing had started happening with the wars and all that kind of stuff.
If you're wondering what this hat is that I'm always wearing, it's a pickleballer hat. And guess what? You can get your own too. Click the link down below to get access to the limited drop for this pickleballer hat. This is kind of a side note, but I remember my first pickleball tournament I ever went to, not as a player, this is before I had touched a paddle, was the MLP in Newport. My mom had told me to go check it out. And
you were there?
Sorry?
You were at that?
I was at that,
Nice.
yeah. And so I stopped by to just basically check it out and pick up a paddle because I was headed to Aspen with Caitlin, my girlfriend, which now knowing I would end up meeting Tom Dundon on that trip too. So I picked up a paddle there from Ray J, Proxar, and the first person I saw playing on that court was you. You were playing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I was playing for the Hard Eights. I remember that was the local team.
I'm trying to think. I think you were playing maybe like Deckel or something. I remember exactly where it was.
Was this on the main court center?
No, it was the
side?
one next to center. But I remember you were the first person I saw, and I was watching with Ray J, and he was telling me, this is Andrei Daescu. You know, he was a really good tennis player, blah, blah, blah. James, who I have known for a long time from tennis, was there too. And I remember he was the first guy in pickleball that I knew who was a tennis player. And I remember seeing him there, and he's like, yeah, dude, so I play pickleball now. He's like, it's crazy. I'm making a lot of money. Like that was like the first thing he said. Like,
interesting.
Yeah.
James got picked up. Remember that season? Like James got picked up by Dana Bright. You know, and look, props to James for getting better. But he was in the same team with, I think it's like Anna, one of the Kawamotos, I think it was.
I think they won it, right?
Well, they won it because they made not only they made like a crazy trade for the girls.
Yeah.
Like, I think they got like a first round pick and they traded away like a third round pick, something like that. But then also they picked up James, who was getting like good real fast.
Yeah.
And nobody could compete with him.
Was it DJ? DJ Young was on that team too?
DJ was on the team, I think, yeah.
James was ripping balls, right?
James was trying to rip balls, but like he was getting shut down by us. And then James got put on the right, which is funny. James was on the right,
that's right.
dinking forehand. I still remember him like they beat us. They won it that year, and like James finishes, and they have this whole thing, and they get a trophy and all that. And James was like, "Hey, do you want to go dink a little bit on the forehand?" I'm like, "Did he just won the MLP?" Like, no, but he was definitely getting into the game, and like I said, he was getting good real fast, and he was figuring out the game. He's always been very good on the fast stuff, but he was figuring out the slow stuff as well.
And singles, he was crushing it too.
Yeah, singles very good as well. Like he helped him in the Dream Breakers. Now that team was tough to beat back then. It was So he was making a lot of money because the prize money was all top heavy. Yeah, I remember how they split it for MLP. It was very top heavy. Yeah, I think it was like $25K each for the winners. Yeah, and then it dropped to like $7K, I think, for the second place. But I think he won 2 that year, getting carried big time. But
James won 2 MLPs that year.
Yeah, because I think it was like 3 or 4 of them, and he got carried to 2 wins. You know,
I can't remember if you were wearing like a red and white outfit or. I think you were in a red and white outfit when I saw you, but it's weird because just sitting here in this podcast studio, and you said MLP 2022.
22 actually.
22, I was like, wait a second. And I remember it was you. I
can't believe we didn't meet there. I was there.
You were there?
with Manasseh.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, I ended up starting playing. I played for the first time, like I said, a few days later because I'd picked up, a pickleball paddle there. And then ended up getting into it like 6 months later, probably in 2023, because I'd played and I was still playing, college tennis at this point.
I got to tell you, the first time I saw you play, actually, it was.
Wait. I have a feeling I know this.
All right, let's see. What tournament do you think it was?
Was it the Pickleball Slam?
No, it was the Cincinnati APP. I remember.
Okay.
I remember, and they were like, this guy like played college tennis for UCLA, like really good college tennis, a big dude. So I'm like on the sides there. I'm like, okay, let's check him out. And it's like this big guy, and I see him over there with a semi-Western grip.
Yeah. I literally, I know it was like a full Western to start.
Who were you playing with?
Serving some bombs. It was singles.
Okay.
And serving some bombs, and I saw him move and all that, and I was like, okay, this guy could do it. It's just a question now. Like every tennis player is like, can he handle the soft game, and like how long would it take him for the nuances for doubles and all that kind of stuff. But you could see in the speed and everything that he was going, and then I think I saw him. I wasn't aware that you were still playing tennis, and I saw him like 3 months later, and you're still playing the same way. Big serve, big like great, but like no idea about the soft game. So I was like,
I didn't learn
this guy might be another one of those.
Toast.
Yeah,
I didn't learn the soft game until about like 6 months in, and I'll give it to a few people: Wes Burrows, Jack Monroe, and then my coach Mariano, who like really was able to show me the soft game. But for a while, like I was just some guy out there with the Western grip trying to serve.
Pony, ripping
he
balls.
was just ripping, but he was so fast and like.
I was getting like 6 free points on my serve like every game.
It looked like
that was all I knew how to do.
Like, was there a lot of serve regulations then?
No,
I was losing in like qualities of doubles.
So you're serving up
getting
to your,
getting like 5th place singles. It was like I had no idea what I was
just crushing people in singles.
Yeah.
Good
but
coverage.
I couldn't get through the qualities of doubles.
He was terrible at doubles.
Yeah.
And then I remember I saw him it's probably like almost a year later in Atlanta, and he's like I saw him resetting some and moving the ball around the kitchen.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this guy's gonna be good.
I remember I spent 1 month at home with Mariano. Did you ever meet Mariano? Mariano Bertucci, he was a player back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think I have. No.
Probably one of like the smartest pickleball minds out there. Luckily, he lives near me, but I remember I like begged him to coach me because he wasn't like he wasn't coaching pro players then. And I wasn't even really a pro player then, but I spent like 1 month with him.
Well, you're doing well in singles, but doubles was a disaster,
doing like doubles in the soft game, and that was when I first.
Is that just drilling like constantly?
I'm talking like 2 hours. Like I stand in the mid court and he's like firing balls at me, and I'm
like
learning how to reset. And I'm talking like dinking cross court for like 30 minutes at a time, like for a full month.
Do.
Yeah,
but not just that, but he also like I remember seeing him in Atlanta, and he learned to use his body. Like he was leaning in the right way, like moving the wrist on the flicks the right way, that kind of stuff. Where it takes a little time to figure out. And I was like, he's figuring it out. This guy's gonna be good. But yeah, I remember for a while there, I was like, man, he was just not getting the memo. He's doing well in singles, but in doubles, he was just like
and you're happy, right? You're like, thank God this guy doesn't.
No, of course I'm like, I'm glad this guy is so fast and
like,
so
Roscoe,
big.
keep it up, keep doing that.
Keep ripping that.
Yeah.
But he's.
Yeah. No, that's so funny.
Now we're playing quarterfinals of PPA against
I know, man. I know. Time flies.
It does.
So you had asked the surge, right, from APP, and I just want to say, like, I just been thinking about your journey, and I think there's been very few players that we have said that we called the best player in the world outside of Ben since I got in the game, and I don't know if there's anyone other than you. I think a couple times I posted like, this guy's the best player in the world right now. I think one time Julian, MLP,
he's
and Mesa, he was the best player at that tournament. I truly believe. But yeah, I mean, I feel like you're right there. It's been amazing.
Trying to. The bar is obviously extremely high because of Ben. Obviously, he's very complete and he plays really well. But yeah, trying to always evolve my game. The game is obviously always changing, as you know. So trying to stay on top of it. I do like to watch a lot of video. I studied the game a lot. Try to take a lot of care of my body. Spend a lot of time on the practice courts. Just trusting the process, being smart about it. And I feel like my game is definitely moving in the right direction. I think like I said, I think the bar is very high. I think there's a lot of really good players out there. Obviously, the depth is huge these days. It's not easy to, I mean.
It's getting scary, scary deep. Everyone's.
Even around the 64 is not what it used to be, So you got to be on top of your game. You got to be very professional about it. The days of my man Ryan Sherry showing up in Vegas, a little hangover, winning gold medals are gone. Even though that was a fun era.
He's playing the Lifetime this weekend.
Good. Shout out to my man Ryan Sherry. I hope he gets it done.
We love Sherry.
I hope he throws a big party after that as well. But it's changed. It's changed from that. You just can't sustain it. There's just so many tournaments now. The depth is so big. Like you just can't pull it like that anymore.
So you've been playing for 8 years.
Pretty
and
much,
you think you're still improving?
Well, you have to. If you're staying the same, and I think everybody will tell you, if you're staying the same, you're going down.
Is it improving? Like both of you guys, are you learning new shots? Is it better decision making? Is it just more pinpoint accuracy and hitting your good shots even better? Is that the goal?
Consistency obviously is huge. Consistency is a big thing. Movement is huge as well. And then you got to keep fine-tuning your shots. I don't think you're learning new shots. I don't think there's any secret shots out there that people haven't figured out. That's what I tell everybody, even when I'm teaching. It's like people always try to find that secret tactic or secret shot, and it's there's no secrets. Like when you play against the better teams, you know how they're going to beat you. You just cannot beat them, but they're very good at it until like you spend enough time in practice. Like you watch a lot of video and you try to. If you go back into the same thing, if you go, it's not just about missing the ball. Look, you have to have good counters. You got to keep the ball in the right places. Like it's not as simple as just don't miss. You have to have a good, fast game. You have to be able to attack. But it's one of those things, again, where you kind of know what's going to happen. Do you have the skills to overcome it? And if you don't, then, that's one of the reasons you kind of see all the same teams back in the later rounds. It's not because they're always coming up with a magic trick. It's not it. It's just very good at what they're doing, and it's hard to get through them.
Tell me about your pre-point ritual that you do. You're practicing your...
I think it's very important to stay loose and have a good snap in pickleball. The TV timeouts are getting longer and longer, which it's not a bad thing. I think it's a great thing. But for the body, when you're 37, you're sitting around.
So it's to stay loose.
100%. Okay. I mean,
it's not just something that like a twit, like a.
I don't know. Could be mental as well. I don't know, but it's definitely for me. It started that way, and I think it's still just I got to keep myself loose.
And you also tap. Is it a ball on the paddle when you serve, right?
The tap on the paddle when you serve, I think that's just a routine thing that everybody has. I think Fed bounces on the paddle, obviously not the same time like I do, but some people do that kind of stuff. If you look at everybody, they all have a serve routine. I think it's important to have a serve routine. I think it helps with all sorts of different things, not just your serve, but everything else that goes with it. I think it helps mentally. I think it helps in all sorts of regards, and to have a good routine. And that's just kind of the routine I developed. And that's what I do. I bounce the ball, and then,
Is it like a superstition, you think? Like
I'm not supersticious at all.
That's good.
You're not superstitious?
Not at all, none.
So you're not wearing like the same underwear?
None of that weird stuff. No, I don't step on some kind of.
You've worn the same underwear a few times, right?
You're not supposed to tell on live camera. It's just between us two, Roscoe. So I have no superstitions whatsoever.
God, I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I'm jealous of that too.
I think that's BS. So it's not. It's just a mental thing. You just got to overcome it. I guess. Stepping on the line, not stepping on the line doesn't really change anything.
Yeah, step on the crack.
Is your
mom's back?
So you're. 8 years in, and is your goal to be it's probably a dumb question, but your goal is to be the best in the world?
That's always the goal, and as long as my body can take it, I'll try to do it. I think I'm pretty close to the top right now, and I have days when I feel like I am the best player in the world, and I have days when, like everybody else, I feel like I'm not the best pickleball player out there, and I think we all have to go through that, to that up and down, and just go through those waves. But you got to stick with it, and I believe if my body's 100%, I definitely have the ability to play as the best player in the world.
And the hunger's there, the fire's there.
Well, the hunger and the fire is definitely there. Even though I'm 37, I know that as soon as I'm done with pickleball, playing professional pickleball, I don't think there's a sport that I can compete in where I'm going to be competitive. So that's kind of the end of my competitive days, and I think that's going to be I enjoy competing. I love it, and I think it's going to be boring is not the right word. It's not going to be a boring life, but it's just not going to be as entertaining as what I'm doing right now. I mean, this is as much fun as I'm going to have. Just trying to hold on to my body for as long as I can, and I love it. Every time I play a match, every time you get that adrenaline going. It's the fans. I mean, the crowds have been getting better and better. I mean, the Virginia Beach was huge as well. It sold out, and people are so into it, and it's just fun. Again, when am I going to get to do that? No matter what else I'm going to do, it's just not going to be as much fun.
What does a training day look like? Let's say you take this whole week, you're at home. What is that training week, and I guess what would a day look like?
Well, you have to listen to your body. I definitely have to listen to my body to be able to prevent injuries. I think working hard is important, but I can't risk it too much, especially at my age. But I took yesterday off. Today I already trained. I got my conditioning in. I work with a conditioning trainer actually from back home who used to help me with my tennis as well, and he studied the game. He saw the movements and all that and adapted my conditioning training. I leave him some voice messages, and he kind of sends me the stuff and all I'm supposed to be doing. And then on court time, it all depends. Usually when I'm in the swing of things and I'm playing tournament after tournament like I'm doing right now, a lot of it is point play related, but I try to get a lot of reps in as well. So when I'll have 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks in between tournaments, I definitely look to maybe add a new thing to the game or try some new things and just spend a lot of... And those are the practices that I think make the big difference. The boring, repetitive ones, you know, that nobody wants to do. But that's why I think some of the pros continue to get better because they do it. And that's what I try when I do my camps with amateurs. That's what I try to explain to them as well. There's no shortcuts to repetition. And sometimes, as you know, we talked about during MLP as well. You just literally sit there, I don't know, at the kitchen line with a wrist in a certain position. You do a backhand roll just to figure some stuff, or like you're doing like your resets, like you say with your guy, and it's no fun. It's boring, but it pays big dividends, and you have to do it. So those usually I try to do those, and I try to kind of do a lot of stamina or maybe put on some weight when I have at least 2-3 weeks to my next tournament. And then in between is mostly maintenance and just keeping the speed going and just playing some points, yeah.
And you're a fellow girl dad to 2 girls?
2 girls, 6 and 4-year-olds, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
I have a 5-year-old, so you're right. You're in it.
No, I enjoy it. I wake up with them in the morning. I make breakfast, and they remind me every day that my breakfast is not as good as their mom's breakfast. They have no choice. I'm not home that much, so I'll make some breakfast. I take them to school. It's the best for sure, yeah. And then at night, and in the afternoon, I pick them up from school, and then we go out, and I kind of let them do whatever they want to do. I took them out. They played some pickleball for sure. They're enjoying it. They're not crazy about it. I had them into other sports as well, some tennis, some golf.
Is it important for you that they are athletes, or are you just going to let them?
It's important for me that they dedicate themselves to something, whether it's being an athlete, whether it's, I think my older daughter, she's got a very artistic side. She likes singing. She plays the piano. She's doing some ballet, and she's really good, and she's enjoying it. And as long as she's enjoying it, I don't care for them to be athletes. I just want for them to find something they're really excited about, like kind of like how I am about sports, and then be on about that and work hard and try their best. And that's all I care about. I think that's the most important. I'm not one of those parents that's going to be like, oh, you got to be the next Andrei Waters, or you're going to be the next, I don't know, tennis player or famous athlete. Like, if they don't want to do it, there's no point in pushing them.
Do they know that their dad is like best in the world or something?
The younger one has absolutely no clue. Yeah. Like, zero clue. She doesn't really watch much of my games on TV. When she comes, she came with me to some of the tournaments, and my older one was there watching with my wife, and sometimes my parents are around and watching, and my younger one finds a way to sneak out and like break something in the back of the court. Or she's got a lot of energy on her hands, but I think that's good for her later on. I think she's gonna be a good athlete, but right now she's got no clue. My older one, she's starting to figure it out. She's watching some of my matches on TV. She's watching some live quite a bit, actually. Like the last few matches that I played where she was at, she was able to watch the whole match and not ask for the tablet and all that kind of stuff. She's starting to recognize now Annalie Waters. I think she's seen her enough in the finals and all that she's a big fan of Annalie, and then she's also a massive fan of Paris's outfits. She told me every time I came back from MLP or all that, she told me that Paris wears the best dresses and outfits and all that, and I'm like, good. If you're watching pickleball, then that's what you're figuring out.
Hey, that's what gets her into pickleball.
Exactly
so
right.
Be it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Right.
I do think it's cool that people can watch like kids and stuff and pick different things, right? Some people might be like, oh, I love Paris because of her outfits. I love Annalie because how dominant she is. I love Andrei Daescu because of how much he covers the court. I don't know, whatever it is. There's different avenues that get people into the sport, and then they start playing and it sticks, right? I think that we're going to see more and more of that, especially from the younger ages.
My daughter's always definitely like starting to watch when I'm watching it. In the past, she would just be like, all right, I want the iPad. Now she'll sit there and watch, like, Daddy, who you rooting for?
Yeah, that's good.
It's pretty cool.
That's what my older one is going to that phase. Younger one is still on the iPad phase. It's, iPad or break something that nobody's watching. But
So 10 years from now, hopefully you're still playing pickleball.
We'll see.
I
hope so, yeah.
What do you want your legacy to be? How do you want people to remember Andrei Daescu? Is it the pro? Is it the teacher? What's important to you?
No, definitely the pro. Look, I am a professional athlete right now. I try to approach every game that I play, no matter how good or bad my body's feeling, and in the most intense way. I try to give myself the best chance of winning. I go into every match with a game plan. I go into every match as well prepared as I can be, so I'll never like show up and kind of like show up 10 minutes before the match and just wing it and try to make it happen. I try to give my best out there. Sometimes it's good enough, sometimes it's not. That's just sports. I would like to be remembered as, the guy was always fighting as hard as he could. He was always giving his best, and hopefully it seems like I entertain quite a few of the fans that are coming out to watch, and that's always good. And I always try to prolong it for as much as I can, just because you asked about the kids earlier, for my daughters to kind of see it as well.
Yeah,
I think
remember it.
I think for me it was very important when I was younger. My dad had me in his early 30s, just like I had my daughters, and I think it's very important for me, even though it was like 5, 6, 7, 8, that's kind of when he stopped, just to watch those matches and see those guys competing and see how they were going at each other and see the stuff that was being said and how they were like going about it. You know, it's just intense sports and just the way they were handling it. You know, how professional they were about things. I think it's a good life lesson for every kid out there, and I would love for my kids. I would love for my body to be able to withstand that damage that I'm doing every day to it, and for my kids to be old enough to understand what's going on. Hopefully I'll get there. Not sure I will, but looks like all the door is getting there. So maybe if I can keep it going for another 3-4 years, that'll be great. But yeah, just want to be remembered for the guy that was trying his hardest out there. Yeah.
Well said. Yeah, I think before we get into the tweets, which we got to touch on your tweets.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I will say
it's a hot topic.
It's been a pretty wild week in pickleball, and we don't know when this will come out, but you know, there's been a lot of hooking and just some not great behavior on the court. And I will say that you're one of those guys I feel like always has a great attitude. You're always I don't remember seeing you kind of getting in fights with people and being, you know, showboaty. I think the way you
super positive.
Yeah, the way your craft is really, I think you're a great role model for the sport.
Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. That's very nice of you to say that. Obviously, you have to deal with a lot of us athletes. So, yeah, I think when we're out there, and you see this with all the sports, you see this with those guys, you know, in football talking trash to each other, and you see this with just every sport, competitive sport out there. I think when we're out there, we're obviously not there to be nice, and we're out there to get the job done, which is winning the match. There's a certain level of sportsmanship you have to show, obviously. And then but you're going pretty hard at it. Like, I'm not going to have any mercy that, look, I feel bad if you get injured, but I still want to win that match. I feel bad that you're cramping, but I still want to beat you there. I feel bad that, I don't know, you're not playing your best, but I'm still, like, again, it's one of those things where I'm there to take you out, and that's the main purpose when I'm playing. When I get off the court, obviously, you just got to be a normal human being. And, yeah, look, I mean, we're seeing the same faces after every tournament. You know, you're in the players' lounge with all these guys. Like, you don't want to be that guy that it's not very well liked, or that nobody wants to talk to. I think there's a lot of downtime, and I have fun with everybody around. And look, in terms of the things you touched upon, I mean, I think it's so competitive out there. I'm sure I've made a lot of bad calls myself. Everybody's made some bad calls. I think it's tough at that speed for some of the people to see it. Obviously, there's some serial offenders, and I get that as well. And that's something that the governing bodies are going to have to get used to and figure something out for that. I do look at the technology is there. It's very well done. I mean, they have this thing now with the dot. Artificial intelligence. I think they're so precise with it. I don't think we're that far away probably from having line judges as well. I mean, you're playing matches for tens of thousands of dollars. Yeah. So.
But I think you have the side courts, and it's tough to have every
court.
Of
course, the side court doesn't have all the challenges, and you got to make some of those bad calls. And I'm glad I'm not the one that has to make that call and those answers. You know, when it comes to being the referee of those matches. And I think the refs are in a tough spot themselves. I think the refs are really good. I've said this in the past. I think the refs are extremely good. I've played on side courts, and a lot of the times, you know, you play some of those guys, and they have a huge name to themselves, and they're afraid. The refs are like kind of afraid to call foot fouls. I think they're doing a good job. If it's a foot foul, it's a foot foul. If they see it that way, they see it that way. So I think the refs are really good. It's tough to cover all the lines. It's tough to cover the kitchen line and all the lines. So at some point, they have to figure out a way to get the sidelines going. Yeah.
I think they are, too. I think, obviously, it's a money issue, right? All that technology on every single court, like, that's super expensive. But
no, then that's not going to happen. Yeah. But at least have, I don't know, one or two extra bodies over there, or some way to get it done where, I think it's going to happen as well. It's definitely moving that direction. And again, look, when you're playing for the amount of money that they're playing for right now, especially in the later rounds,
it matters,
you're going to have it, I mean, people are going to make some bad calls.
Before the tweets, I do want to give a shout out to Proton, who's your sponsor and a partner of ours, and I love Charles and Brant.
I love this
Those guys.
They're my crew. Yeah.
They're your guys.
Yeah, they're definitely my guys.
I think you're like the original Proton.
I was the original Proton guy before they even, I think, had a paddle. You know, where Charles, I spoke to Charles, and he was. I think it's very important first to mention that I was there before Brant was there.
Oh, wow, you were. That's right.
Yeah. No, but I spoke to Charles. He said, "Look, I'm very successful, which he was on the softball business, and I enjoy pickleball. I think I can do a good job with a paddle, and I'm gonna look to get some paddles out there." And he told me all about his background, which is pretty impressive. You know, with the carbon fiber knowledge that he has, the engineering, and all the stuff that he's been doing. And the more I discussed it with him, I was getting close to the end of my contract
And where were you at? In
Selkirk.
Selkirk.
And yeah, I was like, you know what? I think this guy knows a lot about it, technology side of things.
Dresses well.
Which the dressing well part, I don't know about that. But
yeah, he dresses unique. Unique.
I will say that.
I love Josh to death, but he's got a style. You got to give it to him.
That's kind of what you got to go for, right? When you walk in a room, people are like, oh, that's his thing, you know?
No, 100%. You can. Yeah, he's definitely got his vibe. Yeah. And like I said, it seems like he knows the technical aspect of it, which I obviously have no clue about. I'm not an engineer, but I can tell you when a paddle feels good, where the balance should be, how we should hit, and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we kind of put our minds together. We developed that first paddle, the Series 1, which is a very big success. And then obviously things took off from there. People started coming into the company.
And the marketing's great, branding's great.
Yeah, the company's in a whole different spot right now. They just opened up their own store in Vietnam. I mean, we went from, again, just in the back of the factory trying to figure out paddles to like being into Asia, sending tens of thousands of paddles on Pickleball Central and all the stores around. I think they're into Dick's right now. They just had a massive order that went out to Dick's. I mean, they're just, Charles has done a great job leading this company. Brent obviously came in and helped. I do hope that he will stick more into helping the Proton brand rather than his coaching career.
Same.
His team didn't do too well. He was talking a lot of trash on the sidelines.
I was going to say, the trash talk was good.
Yeah.
Especially the Dallas trash talk.
Yeah, I don't know about the Dallas trash, but he was definitely talking to us as well when we were playing against each other. And fortunately for him, he was the one that left a little quiet at the end. But he was definitely saying some fun stuff.
I think the Chefs could have beat the Flames. I actually challenged them to a match.
Did you?
Yeah.
Bet that
Jack actually was like, I don't know if I want to play that.
Jack's playing really well, actually. I saw Jack in Virginia. Jack's playing very well at the moment. With all the respect, they didn't have a great season, but I think they'll be the Chefs maybe right now. But
stop.
So you're notorious for posting motivational tweets that honestly have kind of blown up in the pickleball world. Everyone's waiting for the tweets. A new one comes out, people are sending it around.
You're stalking me over there.
I do. I mean, they're incredible because you do show so much passion on the court, and then you come out with just these heaters online.
Zingers.
Give me a little background about how the tweets started and kind of what they are.
Yeah, well, the social media place is just such a unique, diverse place, and obviously Pickleball's got its own following, but it's one of those things where I feel like everybody was kind of doing everything the same way. And I was there with my social media manager, and he knows that I read a lot of quotes myself on a daily basis. I follow someone like the legendary athletes out there, like the Michael Jordans of this world, the Tom Brady's and all that. And we kind of decided, like, wait, why not? Nobody's doing it. I think it's only going to help people. It can't really hurt to read If you don't like to read a motivational quote, you just don't have to read it. Like, it's not one of those things that I post and it's going to be controversial or anything like that. And like you said, I started posting some of those, and you're picking up some momentum, and people enjoyed it. And a lot of people wrote back and said, hey, we're enjoying this and it's helping us. I know some of the pros are taking a little dig at it, like Anna Bright did. But I took a little dig back at her as well after we beat the Shock, So it's all in a good, friendly atmosphere. And
that's great.
Yeah, it's like I said, if you don't like it, you don't have to read it. And if it helps you, why not? It's decided to start a trend out there, and I'll stick with it.
All right, I want you to end with Andrei Daescu's quote to the pickleball world right now.
You put me on the you put me on the spot.
It could
right
be
now.
short and sweet.
I wasn't ready for that.
It could
one.
be just do it.
No, it's never say never. I think you're never out.
I will say, I think Justin Bieber said that before you, but
it's not my own unique one. None of those are. But.
Was that just off the top of the dome? That just came right then.
Well, you said short, and I think that always resonates. Never
give us one. We'll give us another one.
It's like a quote that's already out there, or one of mine. If I have to bring one of mine, it's going to be for a while.
That's fine. That's fine. We can cut the part in between too.
No, the 90% of pickleball is mental. The other half is physical. Is a good one as well. No, I'm joking. That's the baseball one that the guy found, but I always thought it was kind of funny. No, what can I come out with that's short and sweet?
I think you're acting like you have to think, but I think you have like thousands of quotes logged in your brain.
I don't really. It depends kind of where I'm at. I think the never say never came very, very natural.
We can stick with that. I like that. Never say never.
That's the one that's gonna.
That's good. I like that.
Yeah.
I resonate with that.
Yeah, when things
never say never. Andrei Daescu.
Well, I can't take the credit for that one, but
you can.
You can. You or Bieber. I mean, it's
you or the Biebs.
He's just a little more famous than I am. Hopefully, not hanging out with
long.
podcast royalty like you guys over here. That's gonna help my notoriety.
Andrei, thanks for making the time, man.
My pleasure.
It's been
had a good time.
It's been awesome watching you evolve and just doing things the right way, and you've been an inspiration to me. Just as a player and just seeing the way you do things. I think it's done the right way.
Oh, thank you for the kind words. It's my pleasure to be here with you and Roscoe as well. I do have to say that Roscoe is still a little young and he's got a lot of pickleball left in here, so he's spending a little too much time in those studios. But
I feel like Roscoe's like a young Andre kind of. I feel like
he's got another 10, 15 years of pushing it. So.
Andre, man. No, Andre's a beast. We were on the Columbus Sliders together and had a great time. So
Roscoe's a great guy himself. When we were in Columbus together,
Roscoe's a great guy.
Yes, look, he had to do all the dirty work for us. He was a sub over there, and I always told him like, look, it's one of those, he was so good, always pumping us up, always practicing everything that we needed. But I told him like his level and just his attitude, like you need to be a starter.
Appreciate
and then as much as we missed him in Columbus, we're very happy for him to be moving on to a starting job.
Dude, they
8 teams.
He got passed around a little bit, but he's making a name for himself. He's made some quarterfinals now.
Someone's gonna be real lucky when he lands on that final team. They gotta.
I think that's always working problem. I'm sure he's going to be a starter next year, and I look forward to battling with him. Yeah,
we battled this week, but he took me out.
Yeah,
got the wrong.
He won the battle, but he didn't win the war.
Exactly right.
That's
it.
That's the one.
We're going to end on this one.